For a long time, I thought,
Hi, Craig. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. I would like to record you.
that's what lucky sounds like.
Yes.
Thank you, Craig.
Do you have your sound all situated? Nice enough for applications.
I'm interpreting the silence as a no.
Oh, I thought you weren't talking to me.
Hey,
Look at there's some volume. Hi, Egypt. How we doing?
No, I'm all right. Just trying to make sure I got everything together.
Okay. Things are mostly situated. Things are mostly situated.
No, I needed to put her in a canoe, so I got everything.
Canoe. Yay! The bolt of ease. This is important. Speaking of which, did everyone else get their canoe done? Approximated? Wrapped up?
Mm-hmm. I think
Yep.
so.
One second, I'm hearing a lot of people robotic. Let me try restarting Discord.
oh dang! I just realized what you meant by putting your person in canoe.
Do it quick.
No, I did not do that yet.
Do it. Do it.
All right, I think it's better now.
Is it better? Am I a robot still?
No, you're not. It was more nobody, and I think it was Kara who was also like super robotic for me.
You mean Shay? Lovely, lovely Shay. Yes.
Sorry, yeah. Shit.
I'm Kira on another day. Kyra. Today I am Shay.
We are past our start. We are past the beginning of now, which, in far too accurate of a representation for what this coterie is apropos. This coterie of monsters, this gathering of undead, blood-sucking fiends, are anarchs. Those in the back who don't quite grasp what an anarch is, or more specifically, what anarchs once were, they are the rebellious children crying out for parity. They refuse to sign up and for the pyramid scheme of immortality. They demand collateral. They demand equity. They demand to be treated as individual, responsible members of forever. They don't want to go into a peerage that lasts 5, 10, or more decades. They don't want to serve until the last drop of their brush humanity dissipates. Don't want to be beholden to other undead monsters as vassals and retainers and peons and house help and go fetches. They want to be perceived and treated as the responsible undead monsters that they are, to find their way forward in the night with full standing. That's what they used to be. That's what they were. When they were still, in every way, in every facet, the fresh blood, the new faces, the fresh fangs of the Tower of the Camarilla. Because there was nominally a belief that the traditions protected the world around them and themselves from the worst depravities in their nature. That all fell by the wayside. There were battles fought, battles lost, souls permanently shunted from this coil and beyond. Somewhere along the way, the anarchs decided, in one voice, spread across several hundred and more, taking notes from the several failed experiments, several of those who managed to continue on, that as long as they remain completely and complicitly part of the tower, that was their lot. As long as they stayed in the shadow of the tower, specifically, they could not and would not be heard as anything more than rebellious children. You'll understand when you reached your first half a century. You'll understand when you make your first century. You'll understand when you make 200 years on this mud ball. And that wasn't enough for them. They knew they couldn't get to their nirvana. They knew they couldn't get to their Gehenna. They knew they couldn't get to their paradise, their utopia, as long as they continued serving the tower that kept them in lockstep. They broke off. They became their own sect, their own political machine, their own armed forces, their own sense of equity and parity. And in the doing, very much along the way, the factions of city, town, county, region fought and warred amongst themselves. It no longer became about having equity and parity. It became about mine. I have the right to do as I have the right to do. Who's going to take responsibility for it? Fuck if I know. It's not going to be me. Shouldn't have to be anybody. We can do whatever we want to do. And through the infighting and accountability for self, the accountability for their neighbors, responsibility inherent, fell by the wayside. There is a national anarch movement, but largely they come in with a broom. When they arrive, it's usually to sweep away all the anarchs or supposed anarchs who have done nothing, who have been responsible for nothing, not even themselves. Largely when the national anarch movement arrives, the local anarchs run, hide, or war, which weakens the whole cause, but so too do unaccountable, irresponsible ne'er-do-wells. It is a lose-lose for every voice clamoring in the night for the spirit of what that freedom means. All of this to say, Hollywood is not much different. Up until recently, in the last half dozen years, in the last 10 years, in the last 15 years, things in Hollywood were always moving towards change and fighting at lockstep and every inch along the way. However, change came. Change arrived in the blink of an eye. And Hollywood, which had always been, and as far as most contemplated, always would be the battlefront, the demilitarized zone, the no man's land, is where fights happened for the anarchs. It was a make and break moment. That's what Hollywood formerly was, because they were literally between Sela and Charybdis. They were between a rock and a hard place, between the frying pan and the fire. Because while the tower was bad, the bot was worse. While the tower were rude, inconsiderate, dismissive, the Sabbat was all of those things, plus very much the air of active cannibalism. So while the tower was bad, the choice between two evils is still a choice between two evils, and you still always go with the lesser one. So they helped the Camarilla maintain Hollywood existing as Hollywood, even as they fought as often as they could to gain parity, to gain equity, to gain their semblance of equality and being viewed as actual peers instead of lesser. Until the Sabbat came ringing the doorbell. Until the Sabbat sent spies. Until the Sabbat sent punks. And then within the last 5, 10, 15 years, that all changed. The Sabbat left, were driven out of Miami. The Sabbat disappeared. And seizing the moment, taking the initiative, making sure that the ground was ill-suited to the tower putting down roots. The anarchs, formerly of Hollywood, formerly of the outskirts of Fort Lauderdale, retreated, seizing territory by great gasping handfuls, setting in roots so permanent that to tear them out would tear up the firmament itself. The battle lines shifted and changed. Hollywood is no longer no man's land. It's no longer the demilitarized zone. There's no longer Hollywood. Which is odd, especially in Hollywood, because Hollywood was a planned city. Before the people were here, the humans, the mortals, the kindred as a whole, there were small cells of kindred in place who planned and plotted the underpinnings of everything about the city. Every area, every zone. The wealthy will go here. The tourists will be able to reside here. We'll set up this for future generations so that they can come and play and build in this area. Specifically, which is as unlike every other city and every other domain in the world as you could possibly be. Unlike every other place, it didn't crop up because people were there because of the resources. It didn't crop up because people were driven out. It didn't crop up because a boatload of strangers were deposited there. It was planned. And for the first time, those plans didn't hold true because the anarchs seized the initiative and took Miami. All those who could, all those upwardly mobile, having access to easy funds, both actual cash and favors, boons, and those who had ties and connections to others. Those anarchs set down roots. Those anarchs built bulwarks against the Camarilla. Those anarchs, the higher-ranking members who have survived a multiplicity of incidents with the national anarch movement and are largely supported outside of the state, outside of the region, outside of the county, set down roots in Miami. The others, who were fresh in the blood, new to the scene, didn't have the same largesse at the time, were unfortunately either left behind or told to stay to hold the fort possible. All of that to say, first things first. First things second. Second things first. Either way, thank you all for being here. In case we didn't say it loud enough or vociferously enough, this is without a shadow of a doubt the inaugural episode, the first for Rebel Blood, the Anarch Chronicle of Hollywood, Florida. Tonight's episode is entitled The Unbound Banquet, a gathering of the Defiant. It's a night like most nights, because that's what every night for Kindred is, unless of course they drastically go out of their way to make sure that there's something different. There is no time of day for them. There's no day at all. They die. Their soul doing what souls do when not bound by the flesh that keeps them moving forward through time. For Kindred, there is only ever a forever night. For Kindred, there's only ever the immortal darkness of the world in which they reside, which is extraordinarily odd and difficult in places such as this, because for all of Hollywood's planning, it very much is a daytime paradise, a nighttime one as well. Subtropic temperatures, beautiful beaches, all of the fat, drunken, disgustingly inebriated, but either through chemical substances or just excess of vitamin D tourists that filter through the place. The feeling, while stringently enforced and maintained by the sheriff and the scourge, it is quite bountiful if you're smart enough to pick your targets. If you're smart enough to do a little due diligence, if you're smart enough, you can flout the sheriff, the scourge, the prince, the primogen, and make a living and being a living testament to the ideals of being an elf. Requires smarts. It is definitely, you have to fuck around. You have to do it in a way so that you never have to find out what the cost of that fuckery might ever add up to. Some engage the tours, most in one shape, fashion, form. But there is a party scene, a circuit of undesirables, desirables, and all those who've either lost hope or looking for it. At the bottom of a bottle, the end of a needle, the bottom of a vein. Or you stay on the fringes of things. You attract just enough attention to cause the whispers to magnify your legend. If you are willing enough and resolved enough, you can wage war nearly immortally, forever spinning out before you, holding the line, keeping the principles going, and making a pretty penny to boot. So as we dive in, both feet first, starting the alphabetical. Yes. Begin with your rousing for the night, and that would be Shay, Egypt, Katarina, EK. Oh, sorry, I missed myself. But Shay. Once again, it's Shay, Egypt, Enrique, Katarina, Cypress Bill.
Shay wakes up and is immediately hounded by her beast. And she sighs. Not again. Doesn't particularly like, but she knows that she has to.
She heads out into the dark, find a fresh victim.
It does. She is a Grim Reaper. But she's also an EMT. So she's constantly being called to the sites of death.
She heads into work with the idea of
Of finding a lost
executing her.
pawn.
Hmm.
She heads into work with the hope of finding a lost.
Well, that's always easier done than said. Sitting smack dab between Fort Lauderdale and Miami, even in this off-season period, is, well, it is an exercise in restraint. Because there are a lot of accidents, overindulgence, and worse. There is always the ever-present overindulgence of alcohol. There's always the overindulgence of something. Hollywood. So, would you do me a small favor? And to approximate Shay's opportunity and luck, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll her intelligence plus medicine? Few employees that has never called in sick, never caught anything, always reliable. The sort of employee that every corporate entity would like to have. Doesn't need to take the mandatory breaks, often works through them, is never spilling food or otherwise staining the interior vehicle, never leaves greasy fingerprints on their reports, files, and documentation. The iPad screen looks brand new, almost like she doesn't even use it, so they don't have to worry about it being dropped and them having to replace it. Even with the case that they wrap around it to make sure that it's shock absorbent and will last longer. It's just her partner who ever really seems to be dropping it or otherwise damaging it. She's extraordinarily safe, doesn't leave any, blood or other matter from clients, no spewing of her internals all over the inside of the vehicle. She's a great employee.
She sure is. And she's pretty good at hunting, too.
A victim, extorting those who are already on their way out. There's always the opportunity to slip fang quietly and with all due stealth. And the part that
Giving chest compressions, and then you have to do the CPR breathing. Hers lasts just a little too long.
the only problem, and this is the real test of it, as it were. Does she actually slip fang, or does she obtain her nightly vitae in other ways?
She does, because it's a way of easing them towards death, where it would have been painful otherwise.
Or every other kindred, yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot I'm Hipata.
It is a testament to the cruelty of life as part of the painful aspect of the narcotic kiss. Physiologically, all of those endorphins that the other kindred do, they happen, but they're buried beneath the soul-searing hearing of that person's life and the resistance of life to go quietly into the dark. Because everyone believes that, life and death are opposites, but the truth of the matter is, the only true opposite to life and death is oblivion, which is what Shay is a living, unliving embodiment of. Her fangs, when piercing the flesh, the most coked out overdose. Life screams forward, fighting with everything it has to not go quietly into that night. So many of our victims have a psychotic episode, literally hanging on to life by the thinnest gossamer spider web of a thread and fight for their existence. The screams are soul shearing because that's what's happening to them. And such is the tale of how Shay starts her evening. The screams of the living, holding on as desperately as they can and failing anyway. Enrique, Egypt. How do you begin your evening?
Egypt, would you like to go ahead first?
That's no problem. Egypt usually sets an alarm before she goes to bed for the night so that she can wake up to music. She needs to wake up and get hype with it. So tonight she wakes up to Cardi B Up and kind of rolls out of bed already like bopping to it and bouncing and just enjoying herself, looking at herself in the mirror and blushing for the night, arousing her blood so that she looks alive, because a lot of the places she has to go usually require her to look her absolute best. She can't look like a dead thing. So, she rouses the blood, makes herself look as snatched and beautiful as she possibly can, gets dressed for the evening, and reaches out to her contacts to see if, what's going on, what's the tea in the world right now.
He goes hunting for a different sort of substance, a different sort of life-affirming thing. Let's go ahead and roll your charisma plus streetwise if we get the opportunity. And if not, if you don't have streetwise, then you would be rolling your charisma plus persuasion. And of course, if you have any contacts, your dice.
Okay, Nate starting off real good.
talk.
Very nice.
People talk as if their lives depend on it. And more times than they are even aware of, that is exactly the case. The suave, beautiful Celt Egypt is a predator, a monster who very much is, I am the land is I. Though it's stated in a way that most people wouldn't understand. Girl, I'm from here. Girl, I do this. And the vernacular that's used, while it varies based on the social circle she's dealing with, is very much, I am the land and the land is me. And so all of the whispers, the gathering storm of, did you hear about? Oh yeah, did you got? I got. One thing leads to the next. With all of the skill of a brain surgeon playing Scrabble or Words with Friends, Egypt uncovers the vast secret conspiracy, the gathering of resources. There's been forces throughout Hollywood purchasing bulk party favors. The sort of party favors that normally would take 6-7 months just to plan the initial meeting, being purchased lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. If someone is, to quote the old adage, someone is stockpiling salt. Now, in the olden days, when countries, regions, cities were stockpiling salt and meat, they were preparing for war. Months out, right? Do a little extra hunting, do a little extra preserving, because there weren't, preservatives. But that's what salt was for. You made jerky, and you made salted meat, and you stockpiled your protein and your salt and your sugars, and you made sure that when your forces went off to war, they had enough to survive, not thrive. You still want them hungry. You still want them aggressively moving forward, but you provided them enough to survive. Each soldier that went out had a ration amount, plus whatever they can hunt or kill along the way. And when they set up camp, the camp followers and the hunters and the gatherers would provide, either willingly or, well, sometimes less than willingly. But you always started with the salt. And Egypt is quick on the uptake. She realizes this is not what it appears to be. It's not multiple sources, because after all, that many multiple sources with that much funding moving into Hollywood would have caused a stir that anyone and their mother could easily discern. But they're moving circumspectly enough and skillfully enough of such a level that Egypt immediately knows that this is one unified force. They clearly have unimaginably deep pockets. Her suspect pool dwindling by the rumor every step along the way. And it doesn't take too many whispered conversations and imbibing and getting her victims to part with their knowledge before she begins turning her gaze towards the kindred. There are kindred behind this, much as she would be on less of a clearly discernible scale. There's clearly a kindred gathering fortune for something that, for fuck's sake, she should have been involved with. Because after all, that is her purview, that is her domain. And someone is stepping. No, not stepping. Someone is dragging their shit-covered shoes across her freshly shampooed carpet. And speaking of freshly shampooed carpet, Enrique, the sun is gone. How do you begin your night?
Well, Enrique wakes up. He feels the pangs of hunger enter his system. The beast wanting more, always more. He is in an RV essentially. And first thing he does is he checks his uploads from the previous night to see if they've been posted to his socials, making sure that the views are trending upwards, making sure that the visibility of what he's doing, his business, his connections are all established, trying to get as much social engagement as it were. As he plans to see what is up tonight, what are the if there's any like races or scenes that he needs to check his emails for, like collabs, whatever like it takes. He's a Sigma grind set before they even existed.
Oh, first things first. As you're checking your beats, as you're checking your attributive data to discern whether you need to amp things up or things are coasting along at the speed you need them to be. And the speed you need them to be is fast as fuck and faster. To be so kind as to go ahead and roll your wits plus technology as high as you possibly can.
That's not a good roll. All right. I'm not familiar with Inkonu, so what's the command to roll?
Flash, and then on the side there will pop up the little Inkonu eye. You can click that and it'll bring up all of the controls you might need to roll this. But for this one, being as it's just your stat plus your your attribute plus your skill, go ahead and hit slash and start typing roll. It should start to populate. It's gonna ask for your pool, your hunger, your difficulty, and you can put for your pool. You can literally type in the attribute plus the skill. And if you're going to surge, you'll hit a plus and then type in surge. Your hunger, you can use the top selection, which will be your current. And then the difficulty, the base difficulty is always 3. Even when I say roll as high as possible, you don't ever have to change what that number is. 3 is where you're aiming for when it's stated as high as possible, or just give me a roll. Because the standard difficulty is always 3, even if that's not the actual difficulty, or even if it is being contested. Okay?
Got it. Yeah, I failed miserably. So,
not miserably. You got 2 out of 3. And just so that you guys are aware, the way that the rolls work, everything is a success, even if it's absolutely not. The only thing that is clearly not clearly not success, clearly is not moving in the right direction, is a bestial failure. And messy critical, but we're talking about the binary pass fail. Pass fail is going to be a bestial failure. Anything else is you did well, but perhaps not well enough. You succeeded, perhaps not enough.
Now, you can spend a willpower. Click that reroll failures button.
Yeah, but it's just 1 die I could re-roll, so
One
I
potential
don't think
die
it's worth it.
in this case.
I'll take the 2 successes.
Nice. 2 successes is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It ain't outstanding. It ain't
It's like
bad.
the Meatloaf song.
Amongst other things, yes. So instead of 3 the hard way, you got 2 tough guys sitting there in front of you. What that means is that your data isn't your data. That pause of silence when looking at what you're looking at. It is videos of your race. Because you double check where it's pulling this information from, and it's supposed to be your account. It's supposed to be your information. It's supposed to be your fucking brand. Going for some fucking lunkhead from Miami. All of your data, all of your tracking, all of your residual income from view. Not tracking to you, not tracking from you. That bubbling sense of what the fuck that's sitting there in the pit of your stomach, that is what Enrique is going through right this moment, because there is no fucking way that asshole El Fuego did this. You're not a smart man, but he's even less so. Yet that's the data you're pulling up. The warlord, the rabble-rousing, trouble-making asshole from fucking Miami, you have somehow logged into his accounts. You didn't do it on purpose. You didn't even know it was possible. You didn't even know he had an account. But it's sitting here. All of these views. El Fuego. El Fuego rock! Dude, your name's not fucking El Fuego. That sounds... And it just goes on. It swings horrendously from super supportive to super negging. But that engagement, that interaction, is literally money in the bank. While the dollar has a place of value for Americans, and it used to have a place of value for the rest of the world, the truth of the matter is all of that is gone by the wayside. There's no gold standard. There's barely even a silver standard. The truth of the matter is today's finances are determined by attention. That old saying, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. If it don't get clicks, it's not worth the views, would be more appropriate. And you're looking at a veritable, everyday fortune piling in. Because that interaction, those wild swings of attention and the chat data logs and the sharing and the reshares is dollars and cents and more that you are not getting. And the fact that you are in his account, you can see how many of those views are actually linked to ads, which provide additional income.
Mhm.
And unlike you, he wears a mask. And unlike you, not his face plastered everywhere, it's his name. El Fuego. And you remember that race. You watched that race.
He is going to try to at least get these videos that are like have been stolen from him, like copyright striked. So like all of this will like get pulled at the very least, like out of frustration, because he's not gonna let this shit stand.
Oh, how dare
At least for now.
whoever fucking did this. How dare, indeed. And then some. Because as you begin typing, you're watching your keystrokes fill the stream, the cursor blinking as each letter is typed, and by the time you type the next letter, the first one's already been erased. You bring up the form to lodge the complaint. It unclicks. It starts over.
Yeah, he's gonna try to run his antivirus at this point because it's clearly like he's got hacked.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. Because the moment you bring up the antivirus, your screen goes blue. You switch to your phone, and all of a sudden your keys don't register. Your screen fades from blue to a DOS pop-up. The cursor blinks for less than a couple of seconds. And it's 1 equal yes, 2 equal no, which is literally Y and N.
Yeah.
And then the cursor sits there, blinking at you. Like an annoying police officer daring you to step 1 mile over the speed limit, sitting there by the side of the road, waving at you. Cursor.
He is gonna reach out using Side Hustler to find out who this El Fuego is.
You know who El Fuego is. He's a warlord of Miami.
Oh, okay.
The screen's still blinking. The cursor still sitting there drawing your attention. 1 equal Y. Like, yes. 2 equal no.
He'll hit the 1.
Of all things, there's a simple address given to you. Just an address.
He'll try to write it down on a piece of paper since his phone's not working now.
1234 Hollywood Boulevard.
He is gonna pop off and head to his car, and he's heading there with a determined look on his face, and he's none too happy since like he also can't communicate with anyone at this point. Yet his Latin blood like pushing him like, oh, we're gonna have to like some words.
You're definitely going to have some words. Whoever this is, or whatever this is, no one likes being held at gunpoint. That's exactly what this feels like. Someone is literally placing a gun against your back. And while you're on your way, Cypress Bill, Katerina, how do you begin your evenings?
Katarina wakes up with her beast growling at her. And she stares at the ceiling, just says, fuck. With her whole chest. And she goes to find, goes online to find any criminals that she can hunt.
The speed racer that the police are looking for. Enrique, what's your website called? Your fan page?
1 second, I think I wrote it down. But like he's just like a social media, so he's like on like the equivalent of Twitter, YouTube, that type of thing. I don't think he would have like his own website.
He hasn't branded yet? Shame. So, needless to say, there's a speed racer. And literally the difference between a street racer and a speed racer, and speed racers are usually caught multiple and often enough. The police know to look for not just them, not just the vehicle that they were speeding in, but everyone connected with them. And they've clearly done damage to something or someone. They've exceeded the speed limit in not just in an unsafe and reckless manner, but having caused and initiated accidents. They've proven to be a threat to the public safety and well-being. The domestic tranquility is a dirty word for them. And while the information is scant and scarce, because, well, they keep changing cars and blah, 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 you know Senor Suarez, who would be able to point you in the right direction of the gearhead that may or may not be associated with them. That may not solely be, they will probably point you in the direction instead of giving you an exact address or anything like along those lines.
Katarina goes over to Would Enrique have an office?
Nope. He's always on the street. You'd think he was homeless, except for he dresses like a guy who, at least had parents or family members that kind of cared for him. He has, all of the trappings of someone who, despite very rarely having any funds, all the trappings of someone who, lived lavishly at one point or another, or probably still does. Probably gets money and immediately spends it.
And Katarina will go over to send him a message to ask about the racer that caused the problems.
Yeah, but my my phone's like dead essentially, right? So I can't answer.
Nope, it rings through.
Oh, it rings through. He'll answer. Is like, "Hey, chica, what's up?"
Hey, did you have a racer that either did something really illegal or hurt somebody?
Yeah, you gotta be more specific, chica. All of these
Somebody
guys
who
are
got
crazy
in
loco,
trouble.
you know?
Somebody who got in trouble for it that I can hunt.
Oh man. Would he know someone? Or maybe like a streetwise, he try to think of someone.
What do you want to get rid of? She clearly stated what she wants them for. Someone she can hunt. What does that entail to you? For you?
Yeah, he'll be like, chica, like, what do you mean by hunt? You mean hunt or hunt?
Well, you do know we are carnivores, so I think you know.
You hear him kind of like have a low growl, like, and then he has like an idea. Hey, some local motherfucker, El Fuego, fucked up my views tonight. I'm going to his place. He probably has a bunch of people. Meet me there. We can, I can use the backup, and I'm sure there'll be plenty people to feed.
Sounds good to me. See you there.
Yeah,
Send me the address.
Yeah, he'll like text it.
Just like that, the dice have been rolled, the lots have been cast, the cards have been selected. But nearly everyone, save the center, warm, gooey center of it all. Not on the periphery, not feeding on the victim of some overdose, not working through the social networks like the predator they are, not stalking the edges aiming for a particular rabble rouser. No, the warm, gooey center of the entirety of this environment as a whole. One of the gadflies who feed on the overstuffed monstrosity that is the system of party and excess that is the foundational aspect of the majority of one who feeds on the carcass of the beast while it's yet breathes. Cypress Bill.
Such flattery. Cypress Bill is coming to consciousness in a place that he is familiar with, the underside of a bed. The bed of one of his herd members, who he has an agreement with. They've talked it out. He needs to sleep under a bed away from sunlight. He can't be woken up during the day or he has a bad time. Yada, yada, yada. He wakes up feeling pretty good. Had a pretty good night the night before. So he slides his way out from under there. And he's gonna start hitting up his socials. He hits up Egypt. He hits up some other people that he knows are sellers and some that are buyers. He's looking to see where the deals are, who needs what, and starts getting his business going for the night.
Well, luckily for you.
At the same time, he goes. He tracks down his friend whose apartment he's staying in, and offers him, "Hey man, good night. I just had this one last joint. You wanna smoke it with me?" And tries to get his herd member high before he takes a little nip for the night and gets his fix.
We should say that like there's like a major couple of dudes floating around, like they're buying up everything. It's gonna be a drought, like soon, if not already. But sure, fuck it. Hey, I don't mind burning money, literally. As they toke, and you toke, and we toke, we all toke together in one shape, fashion, or form. Something about the rumors around Cypress Bill are he manages to find the best fucking thing, bro. It's super moist and yet finishes clean. Doesn't leave too much on the palate. And take this. Now, I don't want to say like, look, forgive me for like being a little crass here, dude. But every fucking time he like shares a little bit of his stash with me, man. Like I have the most toe curling. I don't tell anybody like this. Like I normally don't have this issue, but like every time I hit his shit, oh my god, the world becomes brighter and well, there's really no other way to say it, dude. Like I cream my fucking pants. Like it's just that fucking good, dude. Anybody though, but you might want to try and get some shit yourself.
Is he saying this to Cypress Bill?
No, those are the
That's him
rumors
saying it
and
out.
gossip around Cypress Bill. Those like he finds the most heavenly, life-affirming thing. No one understands how or why. His reputation has cost him money on several occasions. Like, dude, look, I like went through like the whole and I didn't get what that dude got. Can I get what he got? I told you, man, I want the weed you got for him, man. Not realizing why. But all the same, luckily for you, after feeding on your herd, you reach out to Egypt. How does that conversation go?
Pretty standard, pretty familiar. Hey girl, you need anything tonight? Making my rounds. And then a few seconds later, he sends, heard there was some big player drying up the place.
Yeah.
You know anything about that?
Fight, like, I know you don't like your money stepped on, and I don't like my motherfucking money stepped on. Because if my shit gets stepped on, so do yours. That's a problem. We need to figure out this fucking shit. It's gotta be one of us, though. Like, not like us out of us, but like us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, us. I got it.
there, yeah, that us. It's one of us, because this is some like major money shit. This is some. They got ends and funds and fucking bodies to throw at shit. They're buying up so much stuff. It's like they're preparing for war or something. It's crazy. I don't know. We gotta do something about that, or find out who the fuck it is and take them out or something. Because we can't be having that.
Oh, no, we cannot. I'll start hitting up my contacts. Keep me in the loop, yeah?
You know I got you. You know we boys. You know I got you, my friend. Yeah, we good. I'll keep up to date with whatever. As soon as I hear something, you gonna hear about it.
All right. And same goes the other way. As soon as I know, you know. You know?
And then I'm assuming one of the two of them hangs up because that's just how they be.
It's just dead silence. Are you still there? Oh shit. Oh, okay. Beep.
Their asses be too high sometimes and remember not to hang up.
The stuff we've heard on the other end of the line. But
Which is
yeah,
amazing.
Cypress Bill is hanging up and hitting up other people. He's making sure his revolver is loaded and stashed on his person. Because if people are going to war, you got to be armed.
Yeah, that's the beauty of guns. If you have them, you gotta use them. Luckily for Cypress Bill, using his gun, usually means things are already well past fun. So cleanup is a little easier. The ramifications are usually well already added to the grand total of whatever the bill is in those cases. Nothing like looking at the receipt after a night out party and realizing that you spent way too much. You won't be able to eat for the next week, maybe two, without finding extraordinary means of making those ends wave at each other from a distance. Food is not a consideration nor a factor for Cypress Bill, nor Egypt, nor Enrique, nor Catalina, nor Shay. These not food, not groceries. So they don't quite understand the whole uproar about the price of eggs and the cost of a gallon of milk. What they are aware of is that the situation and the scene has progressed to the point where, as we turn our gaze towards Shay, who has finished her victim of choice, they died screaming. And not the scream that you normally have from movies. No, Wilhelm was responsible for that blood-curdling Thursday night. She's accustomed to such things. Inured to that semblance of life. Fighting with everything it has. Unfortunately for her partner, every time they hear those psychotic breaks, that refusal to let the morphine do what the morphine does, because there's only so much you can really do for them at a certain point, and just making sure that they slip away is the only thing you can do comfortably, of course. Of course, you gotta get them to the hospital, and the doctor's gonna declare them dead on arrival. But you guys already know that in the field. You've seen it happen too often. And while none of the usual superstitions have been heaped on Shay, not yet, her legend is growing. So the partner didn't even respond, not in the way you'd expect. Partner just kind of, I'll go through their effects, or you want to go through their effects? You know what? Yeah, you go through their effects, and I'll get us over to Mercy. There's always a Mercy nearby. Fucking shame. Shay.
Oh, look at that. I was muted. Unlike my victim.
Yeah.
She kind of just breathes and says, "Yeah, mercy. It's always around the corner." I'll take a look through their effects, make sure we get the name. Any paperwork be done.
Yeah, therein lies the big problem. You go through their effects, and you are well and truly bothered. There's no way that just time and distance alone, the drive from that location to where you're picking up the body, there's no way that they would be that far gone. If they were that far gone in making that drive, they would have died along the way. They would have expired. Excuse me. They would have expired somewhere between where the 9 and the 441 cross, or if they were stupid and really stupid and taking Indian Creek or Collins Ave north and staying near the water, yeah, somewhere around Sunny Beach, they would have expired. Their effect places them at that little hole in the wall, piece of shit rave club, and it's literally a rave club, not a nightclub, not a bar. It is a rave club. You literally go there to be as nude as possible in public as possible and take as many altering substances, both physically and chemically, as you possibly can. That's how they market themselves. But it is a block and a half northwest of the Vizcaya Museum and Garden, right around the corner from Miami Mercy, i.e. HCA, Mercy Hospital. The purveyors of the club chose that location because of its proximity to Mercy, Miami Mercy, on purpose, so that they could have repeat customers who overdosed to come back. Because all you need is a few people to overdose to make people think that the party is off the roof. It's off the chain. It is literally no upper limit to how high you can be, how much fun you can have. You'll always remember with moments you will always forget is what they were aiming for, and they succeeded. The problem with that, not only the distance and the time, but the club is a front. It's a shell company, a profitable one. Martinez. Inez is effectively one of the primogen. Inez Martinez is as kindred as you can be and wholly not all at once. She is the epitome of the grace of the stereotypical rose, the wily, witchy-eared cleverness of a warlock. She is the far-seeing, far-scrying, inscrutably mysterious Mad Malcap herself. So you've never heard anything about her losing her shit. You've never heard anything about her finally reaching her boiling point. And that's what is the scariest part of Inez. Everyone is aware as to what the lunatics get up to. Everyone has a connotation as to what that means. Everyone expects them to be crazy. So A child of Malkath who tells everyone that they are a child of Mad Malkath, who's never lost their cool, has never been insane in any provable way, is absolutely petrifying to the soul. Because, like luck, their sanity will eventually run out. The brighter the picture, the darker the negative. And you haven't had the opportunity, and no one has had the opportunity of seeing that negative.
And I still won't, right? Right?
Well, this person, this victim, is a patron of her club in Miami, yet deposited in your hunting ground, because, you know, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out based on how you hunt, especially for someone who can see bits of what happens next. And as one of the few member of the Hakata who isn't a member of the family, as one of the few remaining Hakata anarchs, there's no way that someone who can see bits of the future would not have done this on purpose.
I am not a fan of this. Is this the usual partner that's with me?
One of them. While you don't take nights off and while you don't call off, your partners seem to have this annoying habit of having a life. So you actually work with 3 different partners because it's a 2-night rotation because of the things that you slog through. Because of the sheer volume of human detritus that you all deal with, it's a 2-night on, 1 night off. And that means that your partners rotate every 2 nights.
Meanwhile, I have no life, so I'm here every night.
Yep. You're one of those that are responsible for bringing out the dead. Sometimes they're not even due your efforts.
I guess. Question 1. Were they super high before they died?
Yep.
Good. So she doesn't usually try to get high on the job. But she wasn't expecting this person to be where they were. Because that's not the route that they would have taken from the club to Mercy. So she's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on while feeling real fucked up in multiple ways.
Yep. Nothing like an undead overdose. It won't kill you. Or will it?
Oh, fuck. I know. You know who does know, though? Those 2 get high all the time, right? What are their names again? The tree and the country. Fuck. Egypt. And
I thought you were about talking about Ash and Jordan.
Ash and Jordan. Oh yeah. Them too. They. You know what? I'm not feeling great. I think Uh, what what time is it?
You okay? Shit. No, it's still pretty early. We're not scheduled for lunch for another 2 hours. Plus, we still gotta get the body to Mercy, man. Are you okay?
You know, you're great, so good. I I think I maybe stuck myself with something that the guy was thrashing around. I was trying to administer the morphine, and I nicked myself.
Yeah, lay
So
down, sleep it off. He won't mind.
I mean, yeah, sure. It's a good point. He won't mind, and it's already counted as used. But I think I need to stop it at can you drop me off at Mercy too? I just need to lay down for a bit. I don't think I'd be useful right now.
You fucking shooting me.
Because
Serious?
like I'm shitting you.
Dude, there's a dead body back there, man. Just use the other stretcher and sleep until we get there. We're literally 2.5 minutes away.
I said, just, we'll drop off the fucking body. It'll be fine.
I want to fucking work by myself tonight.
Well, you want me to, like, just sleep while you're working here in the back?
You know what? Nah. You know what? Don't worry about it, man. No, we're good. We're good. Fuck. He takes up the DB. Yeah, this is truck 9. We got something going on. Like, she's pregnant or some shit, and so am I. I'm calling off tonight. I'm gone. I'm not fucking doing this. And they hang up. Before you know it, 2.5 minutes pass by because you're already there at Mercy.
Wait, am I pregnant? What? She does not help move the body. She just, like, exits the vehicle and, like, because she doesn't want to, like, you hang out at the hospital, people are gonna notice you're super high, so she's just like out of there. She'll be back later. She says something about getting a smoke, walks off.
Go slipping into tonight. But as the pieces are moving, as the players and the characters are doing what they do, which is embrace the chaos of life in Hollywood. It is 35 after the hour. Let's be back here at 45 after the hour and pick up everything. See you guys in a bit.
Sounds good.
And we're back. Everybody
back.
Returned?
I'm here.
Yep.
Enrique is here.
We're back.
Yep.
Yay.
Excellent. Well, welcome back once more. without shadow of a doubt, all of this is preamble. To underscore it, this is the opening gambit of this coterie. Forces are in motion, people are in play. For various reasons and various manners of arrival. Very quickly and very succinctly, could you all, in your way, in your manner, tell me, how did everyone arrive at Rapes 1234, which is the address where several of our members were actually on their way. Several more, through various reasons, arriving there. Now the beauty and the pain in arriving at 1234 Hollywood Boulevard is that it is right around the corner. And by right around the corner, I mean because the prince's abode, Prince Bogach, Prince Mildred, though most will be smart enough never to actually call her by her first name, exists and owns the entirety of Florida Route 820. What that means for us, and the part that goes without saying, the prince's abode, the Central Elysium, occupies the full corner, the entirety of it. They're at Hollywood and 12th Avenue. Right across the street from me at Bella Lashes, across the street from the Halal Kingdom, right across from, well, some people say that's her actual haven, but those smart enough to understand know that that can't be her haven. It is a institution. It's one of the places that have been revitalized, refurbished, retrofitted throughout the entirety of Hollywood's existence. It sits at a prime bit of real estate because, 4 blocks south is South Lake. Taking 12 down to where it merges onto South Lake Drive and around is the interest point for a lot of boats being launched from the private estates and mansions there along South Lake Drive into South Lake. Like most of the things in Hollywood, it was planned. South Lake and North Lake are all but man-made institutions of bringing the ocean to your doorstep. So too is the prince's primary haven, prince's center of business, where the court of Hollywood meets, which doesn't seem like it matters all that much in the grand scheme of things, because meeting for the prince's court or the Elysium there shouldn't be a thing. But remember, Hollywood up until recently was the battlefront. Planting your flag and establishing a castle in the middle of a war zone between the ideological differences between the Tower, the Anarchs, the Sabbat, that's inviting trouble. Standing institutions and statues and the like are the first targets, the soft targets in the war of winning over the people. And yet, through all of the troubles, through all of the strife, the prince's court has remained, which is the tower behind the refuge. Rafe's Refuge 1234 is nominally under the protection of Elysium, but there has never been a member of the Primogen or any of its officers to set foot across the threshold. It is the place where most anarchs feel safe, and they get to incidentally and directly thumb their nose at the very institutions that they continue standing against. The tower and its machine. So, at your leisure, how do you arrive at Wraith's Refuge?
Enrique would be arriving like pretty, speeding a bit, like going at maybe like 30 miles an hour, like above the speed limit. And is this this place, does it look like there's like parking nearby, or does he have to park on the street?
Both.
Okay.
There is parking along the rear and sides of the club. It's a hole in the wall dive bar. But, and like in most cities, most larger urban areas that have the space for it, the alleys are egresses. People use the alleys to get from place to place, not just deliver trash, not just to, back into their garages or onto their lots, but for here, because it is a dive bar and takes up such a large amount of space, that's cool kid parking. Most people are parking along the street side, but those in the know circle down 13th and then pull right in. Or the daring circle around the Prince's Court, purposely driving down, well, and across Hollywood to, in passing, thumb their nose. Some actually go far as to drive with the one finger salute as they do so. Is Enrique one of those who drives back past the Prince's Court, one finger salute at the ready?
No, he is just gonna try to park like the opposite of, as you said, it's like if you're, let's say, coming in like west to east, and if it's like the Prince's Place is like more on the western side, he would try to like come in more from like a different angle if possible.
Okay. Taking 820, i.e. Hollywood Boulevard, due east, you won't ever have to pass the Prince's abode until you're leaving.
Perfect.
And even then, you could probably, if you're skillful enough, make a U-turn there in front of Wraith's and continue back west if that's what you're doing. You can also just take 13th down to the alley and pull in, and also never pass the Prince's abode. Wraith's Refuge, again, is the island in the stream. It is the center of the storm. It is a safe haven for all those discontented with the present state of their immortal night.
Right. He'll find a parking spot like on the street nearby, and he's gonna wait for I believe it was Katarina to join them. So.
Okay. So we know how Enrique arrives. How does everybody else arrive?
Cypress Bill is taking an Uber. He called up an Uber. He has them purposely drive past the Prince's residence, mainly because he is trying to get a gauge on if he sees any type of military, quote-unquote, build-up, if he's noticing more people in suits around, kind of watching the place. The rumors of a war coming and people stocking up, quote, so they say, has definitely put him on alert, and he is keeping an eye out, and he wants to see if it's the Prince kind of gearing up, or if this is an outside entity and the Prince doesn't even show any signs of knowing.
Okay. Well, that being the case, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your wits plus either streetwise or politics?
I actually
As high as you can.
Oh, I don't have streetwise or politics. I have streetwise, but I don't have a specialty yet. But I have a specialty. Okay, I'll do that.
And while that roll is in the offing,
Shay tries a few times and then manages to call up Egypt and asks for a ride. And she is clearly very, very high.
Egypt is very much, girl, what you done got into? You sound crazy like that.
I might be pregnant. Can you pick me up?
The fuck that happened? Shit. I ain't gonna, I got you. Where you at?
I'm like a couple blocks from Mercy by now. I've just been wandering.
So that Egypt has her phone in her hand as she locks up her apartment and heads down to the garage at the condo to decide which car to take. With having a potentially high friend, she goes with the Leaf instead of the Impala because that's a little less conspicuous, I guess. And gets in her Honda Leaf and goes to pick up her homegirl.
Okay.
Yeah. She has continued to wander, but she's not that hard to find.
And in the doing, how do you all? Do you just take her there? Is that?
Also, on the way out, check the spare apartment in the condo to see if my house guest has left for the night. Because I know she be on some shit sometimes. So
Your house guest being Katerina?
yeah, because I know, like I said, sometimes she gets a wild hair and be like this off a minute. So just to make sure she's all right, or I've checked on her tonight, I go and knock, and when I don't quite hear anything, it's like, I guess she must be out and about.
Meanwhile, Katarina is taking a cab to the address.
Mm-hmm. On the way there, giving the address, does Katerina put it together as to what the address actually is? She's been dead long enough in the area that she understands some of the overarching.
Well, she does have a streetwise of 3, so I assume she would know something. Always have an instinct of this doesn't seem.
The call is coming from inside the house for her. So, taking a quick gander at Mr. Bill.
2 successes. Even
Funny
after
thing-
spend willpower.
Mm-hmm. Funny thing about noticing details. They could be some of everything, or they could be some of nothing. Details, facts, don't give you the truth. Facts are just facts. There are things that happen and they don't mean anything until you ascribe a meaning to them. Sometimes. So you have to ask the right questions. You have to have the right perspective on those facts to discern what your truth is. And as Cypress makes his way around, the Uber doing what Ubers do, trying to get you there as quickly as possible to get the next ride, which is all the way back over in the villages, and it's a mess. Traffic is at an all-time unreasonable slow crawl. So as you round the corner there at 12, your gaze fixed on the Princess Court. The fact that it's an average midweek night There shouldn't be that many cars there, should there? There's like 3 SUVs, a Lambo, a Mercedes Benz, high-end vehicles that you expect to, at that location, but don't expect them to be there tonight. In fact, and the part that sucks, you kinda sorta recognize Vinny's car. Vinny, the new the new seneschal, the acting seneschal to Prince Bogach, since Evelyn, whatever her fucking name was, got deposed by them. You don't really know. You don't hang out in those circles. But from every rumor that you've heard, it was a whole coup attempt to get rid of the Prince Bogach's seneschal, and it paid off. Vinny is the man. He conned the system with the truth and managed to put himself in a position to be the next in line. And there's a whole bunch of shakeup because Evelyn failed to do something with something or other, or didn't fail to do something, or perhaps did something too much. The details and the truth, well, they don't add up to a picture that's really clear. It's like trying to watch adult entertainment on a channel your parents didn't pay for back during the late 70s. It's all staticky and fuzzy, and you can make out the fact that there's skin somewhere in that mix of garbled, rainbow-colored static, but that's about it. Like, there's no sound, you're just getting that... And there's supposed to be something there that you shouldn't see, and the fact that you can see something at all makes it all the more titillating. So there's nothing really there to see. It's just static and rainbow squiggles, and is that skin? Maybe that's skin. No, that's hair. Wait, no, it's that. Well, you're seeing something. You're just not sure exactly what it adds up to. Is that an arm? No, that's a leg. No, wait, that's a foot. Why am I looking at a foot? Wait, no, that can't be a foot because, well, a foot shouldn't be turning in that direction. If that's a foot, then that would make that. No, that's a hand. Why is that? Anyway, the details of the matter are that there are vehicles at the Prince's Court on a night where there's no known to be court in session. There's no open Elysium. There's no scuttlebutt that you are aware of while there should be persons there, especially the seneschal.
Mm-hmm. Into the space of the car, Bill's gonna be like, "Oh, fucking knew it, goddamn motherfucker." He's just gonna start muttering to himself until he gets to the bar, and gives the guy a good tip and rates him 5 stars. Yeah, great time, man. Sorry about the smell. And he kind of tries to waft whatever he picked up from his roommate out the car as he steps out, and he's going into the inside with some juicy information.
Juicy indeed. Here's a situation, and this is one of the things that add up to the cluster of it all. Rafe's refuge literally is a refuge for the anarchs. It is effectively a no man's land. It is not actively Elysium, but it is close enough to the prince's shadow that you have to be on your best behavior. Even anarchs who declare themselves as wholly 100% not power know that you don't shit in the prince's backyard, even if you're trying to make sure that there's no prince that can determine where your backyard is. That would be the most fucked of fuckery to continue to conduct yourself in. So as Enrique watches as Katerina steps out of her taxi and Cypress begins making his way across the street from his Uber in Egypt, and Egypt's Leaf pulls in. You're not sure if she's by herself, she has somebody else with her, but there is a convergence in the offing. Are there any greetings? Are there any salutations? Are there any...
Enrique
you shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Enrique would have whistled when he spotted Cypress, since he recognizes him.
Yeah, Cypress is definitely, as soon as he recognizes Enrique, he's, oh, fuck, dude, I didn't know you'd be here. Fucking, hey, come on, hey. And he's greeting him warmly.
Yeah, they do the whole, like, fist bump thing.
Mm. Yeah, don't get too close. You don't want to contact eye. That stuff's good shit, if you want some.
Not tonight. Some Benteno fucked me over and left me this address. I'm gonna have to take care of some shit, you know.
Ooh, need some help unpacking.
Yeah, I need some help, maybe, but hopefully it won't come to that.
Who else?
Why are you here?
Oh, I heard some rumors going around about some people buying up all the good shit, and figured this would be the place to gather some intel. Supposed to meet Egypt here. I think that's her car.
Like Enrique will kind of like look over to the car that he pointed, and then you'll just like whistle like again super loudly, like the one where you like put your two fingers in your mouth.
A dog whistle thing?
Yeah.
Are you trying to call a dog from like really far away?
Yeah, pretty
Super
much.
sharp.
Yeah.
I can hear colors.
Hear colors, I can taste sounds.
Taste the rainbow.
Just been looking at Shay like, poor mama. So I don't know what to do with you, girl. You just wild right now. But we gotta get out of this car. You sure you're not gonna throw up or something? Cause like, not over my interior, please.
I just shout to Egypt like, hey, need help with her? Are you good?
I'm good.
I don't know what you're gonna do to get her ass not high. Like, she higher than giraffe pussy right now, bro.
That's real.
Alright, let's get her out of the car. And I come over and physically manhandle Shay out of the car.
Ow.
Bill's right there, like, be gentle with her, be gentle with her. The nurse is on the stuff. Shit, girl, what you been into? And he's like, actually, like, starting to check on her in his very street druggy kind of way.
He's like, I think Malk have sent me a sign from the rave.
Sign from the rave. Oh boy.
You know the one about mercy? There's no mercy.
Right. He like looks at everybody else like, this is beyond my skill set. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, our one doctor is high off her ass right now.
She just needs to burn it out her system.
I don't know. Depending on what it is, it could take a couple hours.
So the thing is, I'm realizing we all here. Why is we all here? I know why the fuck I'm here, and I know why Shay here, because she was with me in the car. I think I know why you here, Cypress, but why you here?
Some pendejo fucked me up my views, man. I'm here and then left me this address, so I'm here to get to the bottom of it.
But you let some internet troll ass bait you?
What? Somebody bit someone? I bit someone.
No, mama. Bait. Like you fishing?
You bit off more than you could chew.
Well, I'm here to find out. That's what I'm here for. No one fucks with me.
Damn
Not without your consent, anyway.
That's good. Consent is good.
Reach.
Alright,
So as you all,
you going in or what?
Yeah. Let's get her off the street at least. I don't need any cops rolling by on her. Cypress is gonna run inside and try and find a big enough booth for all of them to sit at.
Oh, that's the beauty about raves. When you're here, you're family. Right? No, that's not the phrase.
I'm supposed to be family, but I told them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, stick it to the man.
Or something like that. Because the truth of the matter is, once you guys get inside, which is fairly easy enough, you all are recognized in the right circles for being the wrong people. Now, scratch that. Try again from the beginning. You're recognized in the wrong circles for being the right people. You're recognized in the right circles for being other people. And you're recognized by those swimming in the stuff. There's the equivalent to gravity underwater, the pressure. Whereas here above ground, gravity keeps you from floating away, rising ever higher and higher and just not stopping. Below the waves, the pressure determines how deep you can go. And as far as everyone is aware, the deepest that the ocean goes is just deep enough that the pressure would kill everyone who is here on the surface. Those beings, those fish and mammal and insects and crustaceans and all of the like, thrive in that pressure and would explode if vacationing from that pressure. You all are those deep sea fish. As far as the status of Hollywood under the shadow of the tower, you all exist at the right level of fucking around and not having to find out. You all exist in those cracks between all of those well-heeled, moneyed, and powerfully important kindred who determine the ebb and flow of Hollywood. And without the backing of the machine that is the anarch movement, as they've settled into Miami, the pressure is slackening. There's less of it. It's growing far too difficult at your level to remain at your level. It's literally up or and out, shit or get off the pot, run to Miami, or other drastic measures ahead of you at your level, at your depth. You can stay in the dark only so long, but you are adapting or having to adapt to the absence of those things. You can't sit in the cracks any longer. There's not an army of anarchs on the street here in Hollywood. You need to either be the power of the movement here in Hollywood or need to find an escape. There are things brewing in the dark. Your very livelihoods, your existences are being affected by hands outside of your own. Money literally taken from your pocket in some cases. Looking at you, Enrique. Sustenance becoming more difficult. Looking at you, Katerina. Your livelihood being tampered with. Looking at you, Egypt and Cyprus. And your continued existence free of the hands of others. Looking at you, Chef. Are on the line. So as you all settle into raves, obeying the rule of, no open politics and keeping your conversations amongst yourselves, trying to spy, figure this out, add these things together, are easier than that. As you all settle in and begin your conversation, how might that go? How does that go?
Well, first of all, looks at Enrique and Katarina and Shay. It's like, so there's this somebody with a lot of money buying up a bunch of the good shit off the streets, like drying it out. So that tells me someone's stockpiling for something big going down. Either shipments coming in are gonna dry up, or stuff's gonna happen to keep the shipments from coming in. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to ship into a dangerous city, right? Wait
Right.
until the stuff blows over, then start supplying again. That's bad for me, bad for Egypt. So I thought, who is buying all this stuff up? Who is perhaps causing a problem? I decided to swing by the prince's estate. On the way over here, I noticed there's a lot of vehicles sitting out front, a lot of important vehicles sitting out front. Like that the seneschal dude who just got put in whatever politic shit happened there. What I'm saying is this, I didn't hear anything about a gathering, a big gathering announcement or anything like that. There shouldn't be that many important people at the Prince's tonight, and yet there are. So I'm kind of looking at them saying at least they know something if they're not the ones perpetrating my drying up business as it is.
Could be someone from outside coming in, causing trouble.
See what's going on takes the kind of knowledge that's only a local will have, and the type of movement that can take something that should take months to happen and making it happen like that, like real quick. It shouldn't be that way, and the only way you would have them type of connects is if you from around here.
What I mean is someone's bankrolling.
They got money to spend up in that tower.
That's what I'm saying, like, because they be trying to act like they all better than everybody. But the fact is, that old ass money they be sitting on all the time and don't be wanting to fucking spend it around and make nobody else life better but theirs. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Enrique, you got a guy hustling your business too.
Yeah. I don't know who it is, but I'm gearing to find out.
Well, he sent you this address. Did he tell you, like, is it a meetup? Is he trying to, like, see you face to face or what?
No, I was checking my views, uploading my videos, and poof. Then I tried to run my antivirus, crash my entire computer. Then I just tried to recover, and then like it just flashed the screen, this address. Don't need to tell me twice that that's an invitation.
Okay. So, looking around, like, do we see somebody that look like a douchey street racer besides you?
Have you been to Miami?
Nah, man, I know that that place is off territory. I stay here in Hollywood.
Me too, but that
While they're discussing
Okay.
it, Egypt is going to look around to see if anybody's watching them, or if anybody sticks out, or if anybody looks like this person that might have done what they were saying they needed done.
there was someone from Miami that put the dead guy. I mean, he wasn't dead, but then he was. in the ambulance.
Someone from Miami brought a body here?
I mean, probably just from the club, you know, the rave by the Mercy. You know the one, Egypt.
Yeah, I know.
Except they weren't in the right place. Because otherwise, I would have maybe not eaten them. They were in the wrong place. They were where I go.
So someone got high in Miami and came or was brought all the way up here.
No. Someone from Miami wanted to fuck with me. That one, you know, the one who tells everybody they're crazy, but then they're crazy?
Alcavian.
Yeah, that's what they say they are, but I'm not so sure. Because no one's ever seen him, you know, have an episode, you know. I mean, I don't want to find out, right? But it could be that. Maybe that's why everybody's here, because they're talking to Miami, or Miami's invading, or I don't know, maybe they just like oranges.
It would be kind of weird for Miami to invade because all the anarchs just moved down there when the Sabbat left. So why would they leave here, go to Miami, and then turn around and start attacking Hollywood again?
Because we up and coming, you ain't hear that? Like, we the new hot spot. Shit's moving and shifting here. People's trying to get in while they can get in. Like, fucking, what is it called? Power vacuum or some shit with that whole Seneschal switching out. Now'll be the best time to dip your ass back in here and pretend you ain't never left.
But she said.
That is very true. Ooh.
The moment you say that, Egypt, you spy her. And here's the thing. Everyone has a connotation as to what dying looks like. What happens when you are gifted the promise of forever? And for most people, that's solely and largely because of the fucking Toreador. Because of them and their non-stop media blitz and their propaganda spread, it helps the average kindred disappear. Because when you die, you don't suddenly become your aesthetic of beauty. You don't get glowing red eyes. You don't get yellow, ember, animalistic features. You don't become any of the versions of popularized vampire. You die as you live death. If you are overweight and need to go to the gym, guess what? You're an immortal, out of shape individual that should have gone to the gym. You wanted to be garish and get everyone's notice, and you have an unnaturally colored head of hair, when you die, guess what? You're stuck with that rainbow undercut for the rest of forever. You wanted to look good for an interview, and so you shaved your beard that took you 3 months to grow. Your clean baby face looking like you just graduated from 6th grade. Guess what? You're stuck there forever. Unlike the movies, you don't suddenly have your hair grow 7 inches. You don't suddenly have cheekbones that can cut glass. You don't suddenly become a Mormonized version of yourself. You don't get whiter with age. You don't get darker with age. You don't take on animal features. None of the myths popularized by the Toreador and their retainers is true. It helps the average kindred disappear into the public gaze. It helps the average kindred, the person who just was going about their life, doing what they did, and were killed into this being, not be noticeable as something supernatural. It helps the average kindred to simply be able to walk into a bar, sit at the corner, sit in the middle, stand at the edge in the way of the servers, and not be noticed as anything special, anything out of the ordinary. That, and the fact that you all were looking at her and ignoring her and not seeing her for what feels like to Egypt hours. Inez, or as the polite like to say, Inez Martinez, the primogen of the anarchs of Miami, the former primogen level kindred of Hollywood. She largely was the only competition to mid and rising level purveyors of the party. She was the plug. She was the connect for a lot of various cartels, gangs, mafias, the everyday average criminal. And she was able to do it because she's able to disappear. She's able to think ahead, see around corners, see bits of what came next. And like every good businessman who has a line on insider trading, she bet and voted with her money to influence and control the ebb and flow of certain things. Largely pharmaceuticals, largely designer, but also the good old-fashioned, good old sticky icky, the dankiest of the dank, the powderiest of the powder, the most horse-like heroin you've ever had. But you all didn't have to worry about her. She's in Miami now. There's a whole different level of the ball game. And she's been sitting there at the bar, gently flirting with Rafe and laughing like the fresh from work office drone that she appeared to be. Her hair pulled back into a ponytail, a messy bun, her two-piece skirt suit, making her disappear. The fact that she's not wearing a shirt underneath that blazer is another matter entirely, but that's, that's part of the allure, part of the charm. And when you see her sitting there, certain things click into place. Or they don't. At least until she stands and bids adieu to Rafe and begins moving towards your table directly.
Let me tap Cypress and whisper incoming.
Hey, she's from Miami.
Cypress looks up and is completely surprised by the fact that she's here, and he just kind of doesn't know what to do, so his instincts take over, and he stands up and he's like, hey, wow, but you're here.
Yes. Hi. Hi, Bill. It's always a pleasure to meet you again. I don't know if you remember, but I did. And your particular strain that you suggested actually does work really well when steeped in a fresh tea made using vodka as the base. It becomes a lovely tincture. I will definitely make sure that I give all credit where credit is due. No, don't stand on ceremony. No, thank you. Hi, folks. How we doing? I see that you've all managed to arrive. Enrique. Oh, it's so nice to see you here. I expected you to show up, guns a blazing and causing an uproar. It's nice to see that you're being so well behaved.
I want to hear what you had to, what people had to say. So say it.
Oh, yes, we'll get there. A man after my own heart, straight to business, fast, completely understandable. Katerina, hello. Okay, as talkative as ever. That's always good. We need the strong silent type, and you guys have a lot of work ahead of you. So I'm sure that you've all noticed. Hi, Shay. You got the message. That's always a good thing. And forgive me, I'm sorry. I don't mean to forget you in Egypt, but you're such a bright personality. People would very much mistake you as one of the roses. You know that, no?
Egypt just kind of smirks. They wish they could be me, but yeah, thanks.
You're very, very welcome. It's always nice to see you smile. Such lovely pearly whites. They make your skin absolutely glow. So I went through a lot of effort, and I'm sure that seems like perhaps a bit too much effort. However, that is not the case. Are you all aware as to what a run on a company is?
When you try to crash their stock to buy them, I think.
Yes. That's a gold star for you, Enrique.
He'll snort, like,
Yep.
like halfway from saying "fuck off."
Well, many of us have had to, because of opportunity and potential, engage with less than reputable pharmacological business. Either through picking up the pieces, and she motions towards Shay, the results of those sad outcomes, to, and she motions towards you, Enrique, spurring those outcomes on as a means of performance enhancement and dealing with the stress and trauma of various life-risking endeavors. And then others, she points towards Egypt and Cyprus, simply being part of the system so that we can all profit in our own ways off of it. Our continued existences depend on our ability to blend in. And for that, in the modern age, as sad as it is, that requires attention and finances. That requires just enough attention to provide the finances so that we are able to continue on with our forever. And presently, it has come to my attention that through various companies, corporations of criminal nature and not, that there are forces aligning to create a run on our industry. Someone is attempting to create a bottleneck that will ripple out from Hollywood as the epicenter. Someone and someones are attempting to corner the market and conflate two ends of our existence: the party circuit, the drug trade, and the blood trade. combined into a gestalt being the likes of which McDonald's and Coca-Cola could only hope for. They are attempting to become the Walmart of kindred society. You know what happens when Walmart moves into an area, correct?
All the mom and pops go down. Cypress says, very disgruntled. He is not liking this at all.
What's being tested, that's what's being built. Unfortunately, my resources, no longer tied directly to Hollywood, only can reach so far. And you all happen to be whom my forces are able to reach out to. I can't amass a full-out assault against Prince Bogach. We've tried for years. Centuries, some would say. Not quite centuries, but it feels that way. To oust Prince Bogach. But she is locked in. She is very much party to and part of the entirety of what Hollywood is. And I would wager that with Hollywood's recent change, that she is dealing with those growing pains in and of herself. Which is the reason why I don't believe that she is directly responsible nor behind this. However, the efforts being done and taken threaten us all. It is a masterstroke in an attempt to finally drive the stake through the beating heart of the anarch movement here in Hollywood. Someone is attempting to capitalize on our success in seizing Miami to lock us out of Hollywood, which means they are wholeheartedly attacking you all vicariously, eating away at your edges, like rats in the monastery chewing the edges of a book, so that when you open it, the pages fall out, the information is lost. It makes no sense. Like Walmart destroying all of the other mom and pop stores, a one-stop shop that you all are not part of the supply line. You are not part of the industry necessary to create the product being sold, and you all don't have enough money to profit from actually going to Walmart to buy and upsell.
I'll still be cleaning up pieces, though.
No, you won't. There won't be any pieces for you. There's going to be a quota of the bodies, the persons found, and they will largely come from daytime activities. Your source of sustenance, and she looks from you to Katerina and back, will disappear.
People always.
I've managed to find out when the unveiling, the soft opening is. And I would like you all to be there with me to witness and find out who's the architect behind this, so that we can take steps to make sure that this fails. If you're brave enough, if you're willing enough, if you're desperate enough to cling to survival like I am. I don't want my forever to be under the boot of anyone else. I don't want my livelihood impacted by some nefarious entity which wants nothing more than my exsanguination.
Wait, aren't you in Miami, though? I mean, not right now.
What happens if it proves to be a success here?
More Walmart?
World domination.
Sure, that's what they're aiming for. We need to stop them. We need to keep them from making our unlives, our immortalities, even more hell. And Enrique, I'm sorry, but I know that you depend on your views, and I just thought you'd like to know what it would be like to have the views of El Fuego. I don't really like him. I don't like you either, but I like you more than him. So I wanted you to understand and see what's possible for you. But right now, you're going to be a threat to everyone, yourself included. You need to brand in a faceless manner so that you can continue doing what you do on a larger scale. You need to not be a threat to yourself, to these fine kindred who are left here. You all are the only operating anarchs outside of Rafe, who's not even an anarch anymore, in Hollywood. You all, whether you want to or not, are the tip of the spear in this boat. So I'd like to help you rebrand. I'd like to help you build. I want your success. If you're successful.
And what do you want us to do for that success?
Well, there's a gathering, a party, a soft opening. We need to be there. We need to.
You're gonna owe us? Because that's what it sounds like.
We're gonna owe each other. We're gonna enter into a mutually beneficial relationship where we all have the opportunity of making a difference. Don't you want to make a difference?
Bill nods his head.
Yeah. Man.
Enrique is gonna like tap his fingers on the table like a couple times, and then finally he'll nod.
Well, the way you're phrasing this sounds like we don't have much choice other than to go with you.
Oh yes, that's the beauty of the English language, to give the illusion of one thing, even though it very much is the other. Your choice here isn't something that I can force. Though I've considered and weighed the opportunity of trying to do so, is not really beneficial. I don't need you begrudgingly alone. I need you invested. I need your direct and active participation in this. There are too many moving parts. There are too many perilous factors at play. Each of you all have skills that you have yet to realize that can and will play a part. Each of you. As much as I would like there to only be a smaller number of us involved, and while I can't recruit more forces from Miami with everything that's going on, and while I can't call in more favors and more direct aid and assistance, we have to be enough. And you have to be willing for this to work. If you're not willing, I understand. It's okay. It's okay to want us all to cease to be. It's okay. It's, just like the people that we once were, we have our own goals. We have our own wishes. We have our own risk analysis of any situation. But my business will be affected. Your lives will be affected. Our eventual, if this is successful, all of what we believe to be true will stop being that way, and we'll be slaves again to others. The equity and parity and, well, our liquidity and potential immortality will very much cease to be. There's always the opportunity of running, leaving Hollywood, leaving the area, risking the road and all that comes with it. And I won't blame you if you choose that.
I am too high to give consent. But I'll probably do it. Ask me tomorrow.
Yeah, just kind of like, I understand what the fuck all's going on and what's at stake, especially when they're trying to play with my money, and you know, I don't like that, so we gonna fix it.
Then we have a deal. I'll meet you all here tomorrow night with your invitations. It takes a little while. I have to get the right one so that we can disappear. You all have different names. We'll get there together and we will make this a successful foray into changing our futures. She stops and looks amongst you all, then looks around. You know, I thought there'd be clapping or applause at this point. But either way, good night, you all. Enjoy your evenings, and I will see you tomorrow with our invitations. And oh, so that we blend in, dress to your absolute best. She rises from the table and waves to Rafe behind the bar and makes her way out, leaving you all sitting with the realizations and the potential ramifications of what she just said. And much like Inez, Miss Martinez, the anarch from Miami, this is the moment where I leave you all and thank you all for a lovely bit of play. I look forward to what happens next with this coterie and all of their myriad of decisions coming home to roost, or not, as the case may be. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks for
Night. Thank you. This is
Good
really
night.
good.